Good afternoon, everybody. It is David Perlmutter from Quantum Listing, and thank you for being with us today for our webinar, How to Get Started with Quantum Listing. Today, we will be covering the following items. We're going to talk about what happens when you first get to Quantum Listing and you're not signed in, so your ability to search from the home page, and then since we're talking about how to get started with Quantum Listing, we'll show you how to sign up. And then once you've signed up, the next important step is getting to know your profile page, including enhancing your profile and then all the different features that you can access from the profile page. And we'll talk about adding listings and how to search. And most of this we'll be doing with a live demo from the website. So buckle up, we've got a lot to cover. So if you are new to Quantum Listing, we like to say that Quantum Listing gives your listings maximum exposure by offering a range of features so you can market your properties without breaking your budget. You can post an unlimited number of listings with the ability to market them seamlessly on all forms of popular social media. And even better, there's no paywall for potential buyers and tenants to preview your properties on our site. So let's go right to the website now. And hang on with me while I open a new tab. Okay, so we're going to Quantum Listing, and there we are. All right, so I'm going to log out. So when you first get to Quantum Listing and you're not a logged in member, and especially if you're going right to QuantumListing.com, this is the page that you're going to see. This is our home page. And notice right here, when you land here, you can start a search. So you just start typing in the market where you want to search, and voila, there it is. And one of the important things to point out about this is that every single listing that is an active listing, meaning a published listing, is visible to anybody on the internet. There is no situation where a active listing is not visible because you're not a member or you haven't paid something, or so it was really important to me that every single listing be visible to everybody. And why is it important to me? The reason is I'm a commercial real estate broker like most of you out there. So I want as many people to see my listings as possible. And therefore, we made it so that everybody could see all of the listings. And that's paid dividends for our members, because I would say 2/3 of our traffic each day comes directly to people's listings from Google searches and the other search engines. They're coming to our site and landing directly on your listing or sometimes your profile. And on your profile page, they can see all of your listings, and we'll talk about the importance of developing your profile in a few minutes. But a lot of times, if you Google David Perlmutter commercial real estate, there's a very good chance you're going to see my Quantum Listing profile on that first page of your Google search. And it's not just me; it's everybody. And so that is sort of something I'm proud of, because I think that really we had that goal so that you guys could get as many views of your listings and your profile as possible, and I think we've achieved that. So I guess the first thing that I want to show you is how to sign up, since everything sort of takes place from there. So there are really, there's several different ways you can interact with quantum listing. And first, we showed you, any visitor can do a search on our site, or any visitor can land on your listing from a internet search. So that is great. And if they do land on your listing, they have the ability to contact you, and either through our little pop-up form, they can click on your email address and email you. They can see your phone number and call you. So there's lots of ways that visitors can interact with the site and get the information they want, and then take the next step and call you and get even more information. So the sign-up form is pretty easy, and you have to add your first name, your last name, your email address. You can, and really should, especially if you're a broker and want to get some phone calls, add your phone number, but that's optional. And if you have a website, you should add that also. You add a password, and then here where it says account type, you'll see 3 different types of account. So let's take them one at a time. A basic account is really meant for people who don't have listings. These are the people who want to search our site, and you say, well, you just said that anybody can search the site without having registered. Yes, that's true. A basic account, though, allows you to save listings so that you can access them later. It allows you to be part of one of our networks or one of our groups. It allows you to take private notes on any listing. So there are features that you can access as a basic member that a visitor simply wouldn't have the capability to do. Individual accounts are for individuals. So if you are a sole practitioner, or you're part of a bigger company, but your whole company hasn't decided to go onto quantum listing, and you want to post your listings, an individual account is the ticket for you. And when you are an individual account holder, it's $89.99 a year to post unlimited listings, and that opens up a whole variety of other features. In addition to being able to post listings, you can also access our other features, such as, when you do sign up as an individual account holder and you've entered your payment information, and you'll get the first 30 days free. During that period, you can cancel if you decide it's not a good fit for you. We do hope you stay. And then after 30 days, you get charged that $89.99. All these transactions on our site are handled through PayPal, so they're nice and secure. Every once in a while, we do run into people who don't want to use PayPal, and in that case, we can send you an invoice and you can pay by check. We've never had anybody send us $89.99 in cash through the mail yet, but I guess we would take that too. So that's individual accounts. Enterprise accounts are for either teams with multiple agents, where you all want to have your listings shown together on the same page, but also have each individual agent have their own profile and there are listings on their own page as well. This is great for brokerages. So it doesn't just need to be a team; it could be a brokerage as well. And then not listed here, because this is really something that we set up for you, especially since we have all these different syndication partnerships. The way to get if you're, we have something called a quantum listing network, and originally these were, geared towards, states, and we've sort of found out that they're really helpful for the companies that syndicate their listings to us through Build Out or RealNex or Sharp Launch, and they want to have all their different members, all their different agents' listings shown in a centralized area as well as in their own individual accounts. So the networks allow us to take those individuals and put them in one place as well. So that is really all it takes to set up your account. Of course, you have to check the box saying that you've read and accepted the terms and conditions, and then you click create your account. I, unsurprisingly, already have an account, so we're just going to sign in here. And let me take you back for a moment to our slide deck, and I'm going to show. So this is another member who, Justine Snyder. She's been with us for a couple of years now, and Justine has done a particularly good job in setting up her profile, which is really the next step after you join that we would strongly encourage you to take. You would click this little pen and paper icon up here, and then you would be able to add a profile picture and or a logo. You can add your bio. And then the other thing that you can add here is your business social media links. And the reason you want to, when you're signing up, you can add your website, but you can also add it here on your, when you're editing your profile if you forgot to do it when you were signing up. So the reason it's important to add as much information as possible here on your profile is that as search engines crawl our website, they're looking for content to index. And once your profile gets crawled and indexed, you have a much better chance of showing up on the first page of searches if you have more content. So Google, loves pictures, they love text, they love the links. So you're doing yourself a big favor if you take the 5 or 10 minutes that it takes to add this information. And you can just cut and paste, copy and paste your bio from your website. You don't need to create brand new content for this. You can just use what you already have. In terms of, Facebook and Twitter, I wouldn't necessarily recommend adding your personal Facebook page. If you have a business Facebook page, do that. Twitter, same thing. Instagram, also. LinkedIn, it's kind of, if you don't add any other social media accounts, add your LinkedIn. We like to say that LinkedIn is the largest commercial real estate network in the world, and you're doing yourself a big favor. And when people are Googling your name and they click on your profile and come to it on Quantum Listing, the more information you have, this isn't just for search engines, it's for actual human beings that you want to present all this information, because this way they get to see a more three-dimensional picture of who you are and a little bit about your background. And the more that you have, the more they get to digest and see if they want to work with you as their broker. So please do add that information. I think we covered that. All right, so let's go to the website now. And all right. So I signed in a little while ago, as you saw, and I'm going to show you how to get to your profile if you're not already there. So right here in the top right corner of every page is this Head and Shoulders avatar. And if you hover over it, it says, go to my profile. So that's how you're going to get to your profile page. And you can see on my profile page, I've added the company name and logo. I've added my YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter accounts for my company. You see I have my website and phone number. I have my license number. Some states require that you do that, so just be aware of whatever the law is in your site. And up here, you can see the information button. So if you've added a profile, a bio, you click on that and go see that. Up here is a button for the chat menu. We'll discuss that in more depth a little bit later, but if it's lit up green, that means that there's a chat message waiting for you. If you're not on your profile page, sometimes, and you do have a chat message waiting for you or some other message from our system, this little bell here in the top right corner will be lit up green as well. And if you have multiple notifications, I believe it will show the number of notifications that you have waiting for you. So as we proceed down the profile page, there is this left-hand, what we call the left-hand sidebar menu. So the different options are listings, wants, enterprise, if you have an enterprise account, if you're a basic or individual, you're not going to see this menu item. And then networks, groups, and social, and then info, and this last one is just here on my account. So you won't see that on your account. And then over here on the right, you'll see my listings. And because I have an enterprise account, I'm able to assign multiple agents to the same listing. And then my listings go on to the next page, so you can click over onto the next page. And then, so now let's go and check out listings. So if you want to add a listing, make sure you've, you can click on listings and then click on this green, oh, look, I've gotten a message. Oh, I'm sorry to get distracted, but I just see my notification. Julia, our customer success advocate, sent me a message. And you can see that was also lit up, and you can also find that message from Julia there. And if you wanted to respond here. So, all right, let's get back. Sorry for that small digression there. But you know, when I see a message, I get very excited and have to answer. So to add a listing, you click on the green plus button up there. It opens up the window to create a listing. Now, if you are syndicating from Build Out, Sharp Launch, or RealNex, you generally are not going to be using this because your listings are going to be coming in through the syndication API, the automatic interface. So you won't have to do that. But if, like me, you add your listings manually, then you drag and drop your pictures and PDFs up here. If it's an enterprise account, you can add one or more agent to that listing. So here I'm going to add, so I can do that, and then realize Lebo's not in on this one. You can eliminate them. So you can add multiple agents, you add a listing title. And one of the things that we've discovered through sort of happenstance and studying that the listing title, I know, real estate brokers like to be very creative with their listing titles, and they're using all sorts of descriptors, prime corner, things like that. I am going to ask you when you're adding listings to go against your instinct and just have a very basic title. And what do I mean by a very basic title? So to me, and again, this is because of the way search engines crawl and index information on the internet. So, and you have to think about your title in the way that somebody searching for real estate who isn't necessarily a commercial real estate professional would do it. So, and the other thing is that a huge percentage of searches now are done through your phone or your tablet using your voice. So I can't imagine a world in which people say, find me a prime retail corner in Manhattan. And so as a result, Google in particular really, likes it if you say retail space for lease in Manhattan. And those types of titles, as boring as they may seem, are super effective, and that's the type of stuff that ends up on the first page of Google searches. And if you are sort of stuck for what title to give your listing, my advice would be to do a Google search for whatever type of listing that you have and see what is on the first page of that search, and maybe you can replace one of those guys if you do something similar. You don't really need to be very creative and original for that part of it. All right, so that's my sermon on titles, and let's keep moving. Transaction type, you can choose lease, sale, sale and lease, sublease, and then for our friends in California, you can, if you want to specify whether it's per square foot monthly or annually, you can say if something's in escrow or under contract, sold, leased. Some people call it a done deal, so we have that option too. So you pick your transaction type, then you pick your asset type, and as you can see, we have a fairly extensive list of asset types. And a lot of people, sometimes real estate is a little more complex than that, so you can add a secondary asset type as well. So, and the things here, maybe I blow this up a little bit. The things with the red asterisks are the things that you have to add. Rent, and if it's an asset that is for sale, rent switches to price. You don't have to actually add the rent or the price. You can leave it as 0, and when it's saved, it's going to show up as inquire. So I know that a lot of the landlords that I work with prefer that I don't put the price, because if the price is less than some of their tenants are paying, they don't want them finding that on the internet and coming back and saying, hey, please reduce my rent. So that's just a reason that a lot of people don't put the price, I've found. The description, although not mandatory, is certainly a very good idea. And again, it's because search engines want to know, the more information you have, the more they think it will be helpful to people searching for it, so they will again favor that. So add a description, and here's where you can start with the flowery prose and being a little more creative as well. Another thing that you have to add is the location. So you'll start typing in an address, and when you see it in the drop-down list, you click it, and that will then geocode your location, meaning it'll put the longitude and latitude in, and this is what makes your listing searchable on our site and also in the search engines. And you hear me talking about search engines a lot. Back when I started in the business, there was no internet other than for academic and defense purposes. So this, you really want to be on the first page of search engine searches to the extent that you can. There are no guarantees, no matter what, and Google, periodically, and I'm sure the other search engines also will change their algorithm so that you can't game the system too much. So you always do have to stay a little bit on your toes. And I track through one of our tools, what happens with my listings and where they go. And sometimes, one day I'll see it is on the first page, the next day I'll see it's on the second page, and then the third day it'll be back on the first page. So it seems a little fickle, but that's the way the search engines like it, so that you're not gaming the system. Sorry, back to the information you need to add. Square feet available is a good idea. And you have to put something, and you can put it as 0 and it shows up as inquire also, and then you have to put the date that it is available. It'll automatically go to today's date, but if you're pre-leasing something, you might want to put a date in the future when it actually will be habitable by a new tenant. And then additional parameters, these are all optional, and you can add a link to your website if you want here to the listing on your website. You can add parking, offices, bathroom, whether it has EV charging, and you can also put something about each of the individual spaces, the size of them. The commission split is something that you can add as well. And if you have a YouTube or Vimeo video of the space, which I know these have become super popular in the last year during the pandemic, you can add that here. And then you have to make sure this publish box is checked. By default, it is checked, but and then promote this listing we'll get to, but this is to have your listing show up at the top of searches in your market on our site. So you're guaranteeing yourself the first page with that. And then this is another optional one. If you have check the will co-broke box, then there's a little icon at the top of the listing. It's just a little signal that you're willing to work with your colleagues on that listing. And then this box here, I have the rights to all images and information I am adding to QuantumListing, is also something, this you actually have to check that if you want your listing to be visible to the public. And this is, sort of a CYA thing for you and for us, so that you make sure that you're not using somebody else's intellectual property, because that can cause you and us trouble down the road. If we get a complaint from another listing service that you're using images from that have their watermark on it or something like that, we'll unpublish it, and then we'll contact you and ask you to change it to something that it isn't somebody else's image. You can use the same pictures on our site as well as on other sites, as long as you're uploading them directly yourself, so that you're not like going to that other site, copying it from there. It has their watermark on it, and then pasting it in here. That's a real no-no. So please be very aware of that. One other thing that I'll show you that I've found as sort of a best practice as we go through these COVID times, and this is kind of a page from residential real estate, particularly apartment leasing, that I used to just have one listing for each building, and then I would have each space, the square footage of each space in the within the listing. But what I have found very helpful now is to have, and this is also viable because with Quantum Listing, you get unlimited listings for your $89.99, so you're not getting charged, like some other site, $350 a month for each listing. So if you have, 4 or 5 listings in a building, with that site, you'd have to pay, over $1,000 a month for this to do this. So it really isn't feasible with some of the other sites. But with us, you can have an individual listing for each page. And what happens with that is that you can then make it more virtual tour-like. Even if you don't have, a Matterport or something like that, you can have the individual pictures and floor plan for each space, as well as a YouTube video or Vimeo link to each individual space. So it's a great way for people to preview an individual space instead of like clicking on the building, seeing the different sizes, and then trying to figure out which suite goes with which picture. So I would encourage you to do that. It takes a little more time, but I think it's well worth it. All right, so I'm going to click on this first listing here. All right, so there's the key code. That was a private note, which I guess when you open up your own listing, the private note shows. It'll show you where to add private notes in a second. So you can add multiple pictures here, and you want to, I decided to take a picture of the directory so that people can sort of have a good idea of the types of tenants that are there. This building has got a lot of medical in it, so this kind of signals that if you're a doctor, it might be a good place. Plus, you can see there are other things. There's financial services in here as well, and a bunch of other stuff. So, take pictures. This was before the suite was completely cleaned out, so it's a little messy. It's funny. One of the landlords I work with, I really had to begin to get them to, really thoroughly clean out the spaces before we started showing it, because people, tenants, prospects' imaginations can be limited, and they don't necessarily have the capacity to see beyond what is in front of their eyes. And it's not a shortcoming of theirs. It's just a fact. People's brains work differently. My wife is an architect, and she sees things that I don't see just because that's her training. And then I added a little. There's a video which you get here, and I'm not going to click that because it'll open up a YouTube thing, and it's watching videos on GoToMeeting is not the best experience. So other things to notice here on this listing. So this is a listing detail page. So you have here's the not very creative title that I gave it, but effective. It says 1,523 square feet office for rent in Montvale, New Jersey. If you click that, it'll bring you to the map down below. Up here, you'll notice that the listing has received 349 views. If I click that, and this is something only that I could click, I could edit it, I could delete it, I could archive it. Archiving it saves it in another part of your profile, so it's no longer visible to the public. And archiving is, if you've sold or leased your listing, or it's potentially gone off market for some reason, or your listing's expired, you can archive it, and if it ever becomes available again, you can unarchive it and have a little less data entry to do in the future. By the way, we should do a poll sometime whether you say data or data. I kind of switch between the two. Anyway, and then you can also unpublish a listing. So sometimes when I have a new listing but I don't have all the information yet, I don't publish it, or there's the difference between a unpublished listing and an archive listing. Neither of them is visible to the public. An unpublished listing will have a little lock here. Like people who syndicate to us from build out, their listings, instead of getting archived, they stay here on this page, only visible to them, and the signal that it is no longer visible to the public is that there's a little padlock on the top of it. So let me go back for a moment to the listing, because we didn't get to explore everything. So and I forgot to mention the sharing icon on profiles. We'll get back to that, I guess, a little later. But this red dot with the 3 little dots and 2 lines is the sharing icon. You'll see that on your profile page, although it's black in that instance, not red. So you can share your listing via email. You can share it to LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, all with the touch of a button. I'll do this one quickly to LinkedIn. You can see how fast and easy it is. So I'm going to share it in a post. And I'll just say something great. And all right, and then you can add hashtags. LinkedIn conveniently has a bunch of hashtags. You can add your own, and then you click post. I'm not going to do it now because I'm not too proud of the what I cooked up in a short time with that. But let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to post it. I'll be bold. I didn't put the. So I'm going to post it without any message. I'll just put a hashtag and I'll delete it later. All right. But to show you what it looks like on LinkedIn, you can see there. So your profile, your featured picture rather, is there. Whatever you type that was written up here will show up here. Will show there. You could have also, if you tag your company, you can tag other people with these. So it really does make for you have a lot of options with that. All right, let's go back. Okay, so as we proceed down the page here, if you're looking at your listing or somebody else's, you can click this little ribbon to save it to your favorites. You'll find that later on your profile page. The next icon is to create an iframe for it. And if you wanted to use QuantumListing to serve your listings to your website, you can do that by copying and pasting this code and pasting it into your website. If you don't know how to do it, your web developer does. Promoter Properties, my brokerage company, does that. It works great. And It you'll see the listing on your site, but everything framing the listing is your website. So it really looks like it is your website. You don't have to look like you're shilling for us. Um, Here's how you make the personal notes. And this next icon, if you wanted to create a PDF listing report or an emailable listing report, you can edit by clicking the little plus sign here. If you haven't gotten to creating a new flyer for your listing, QuantumListing will create a flyer for you. It will incorporate all the pictures you've added plus the information that you've added, and then if you have added your own flyer, in any other PDFs, they can click this and access them that way. On the left, in addition to the basic information and the description, what you'll see is the demographic data, which is the US Census Bureau data, completely free. Land Checks is one of our very wonderful partners, and I'll click on this so that you can see what goes on with Land Checks. So a new page will open, and Land Checks provides virtual due diligence information on all the different locations on our site. So you can see up here, you can get information on the cell towers within a 5-mile radius. You can see if there are any EPA, federal EPA sites. You can also, and then if you can zoom in on this if you want. So you can, then if you click on any of the icons, it shows you a little more information on it, and you can find all this down here as well. So you get Superfund sites, HUD homes, transmission lines, pipelines, all sorts of incredible information. There's a dashboard view in addition to the map view, and all this information is also downloadable into a PDF. Right now, because LandChecks is a new site and is in beta, you'll be able, you can get that information for free. In the future, I believe that there will be some charge for it, but right now it's really very, very valuable information, and well worth taking advantage of. If it's a listing that is for sale, in addition to these two buttons, you'll also have a button from StackSource, and with StackSource, you can you or your clients can put in the basic information about the property and hit submit, and then see if any of StackSource's affiliated lenders are interested in financing your property. Okay, so other things here. So we talked, you have all the views, search other listings in the market, shows you when the listing was last updated, so you'll have a good idea whether that listing is fresh or not. All right, next up, so listing archives, your archived listings. Saved listings are the listings that you have saved during your search for future reference. Online advertisement is a really neat feature. It's, I think, unique to us. You can advertise any of your listings on the Google Display Network, and the display network is different from the Google search ads. It is the these are the ones that show up on the sites that you're searching, with a little image and a little bit of text, and if people click on that, they'll go to the listing. So if you, selected one of your listings, you can have it just show up in the town where the listing is, or you can pick a second location where it will also show up, or you can eliminate the town where it is and pick two locations. those ads cost a minimum of $25 per listing. You can also have choose $50 or $100, and the once you do that, it'll run till like it probably spends about $4 or $5 a day in your budget, and we'll show you the type of results that you get with that. You get, for a $25 spend, you're going to get anywhere between 10 and 30,000 views on those other websites of your listing, and of those, let's call it 20,000 views, you'll probably get anywhere between 12 and 25 clicks on it. So if you're doing, by contrast, Google's search ads, you might pay $25 for a single click, depending on the market. And the price of Google ads is really based on an auction system, so it varies from market to market. But because commercial real estate is a competitive and expensive asset class, you generally pay a lot of money for the search ads, and we think you get a better bang for your buck with the display ads, and you get much more out of it. So in addition to being able to post your commercial real estate halves, we've made it possible for you to post your commercial real estate wants. And so you would go here, you would click on, my computer's a little slow right now, but I'll show you what you can search by wants also. So say I wanted to, here we go. There. I knew it was going to come through. I just lost faith a little too soon. So here I'm looking for 50 acres of land for a solar farm. I had a tenant that's a denture and dental implant tenant that's looking in a couple of different markets. So this is just a way of crowdsourcing whatever it is that you're looking for. And I was thinking about it actually just this morning. I was saying, in addition to the real estate, maybe if I have, my building in Briarcliff Manor, why couldn't I? And I want to have a medical tenant there. I could do a want for a medical spa, and people can search on our site for the different wants and see if there's anything that matches up with what they have. And these wants are also going to be out there on the, when in search engine searches. So I really encourage you to use those, and it's a great way of getting your colleagues to be informed of what you're looking for, see if they have anything matched up, and crowdsource whatever it is you do. Enterprise, in addition, so if you have a marketing team, you don't have to pay to have the marketing team members as agents. Those are free agents. For each agent, you'll pay $89.99 for unlimited listings. However, we do cap it at, so if you have 12 or more agents in your office, it's capped at $999.99. So you'll never pay more than that. The networks, so we touched on these before, and I'm going a little faster now because I guess I lost track of time. But networks, there's one for each state, which will assign you to your statewide network. And then we've also started creating networks for the companies that syndicate, so that all of their different agents can be in one place. I'll show you an example of what it looks like for a company network. So this is Scott Stinson and his team from Central Realty in Missouri. They have listings in Missouri and Illinois. and they syndicate to us from build out. And as a result of we're creating the network for them, the whole company's listings are available in one spot. So I'm going to go back to my profile, and groups are similar to networks. However, you can start your own group. If there's a bunch of colleagues either in your market who you like to transact with, you can create a group, invite them in. You'll see all their listings in one spot. You can have group chat messages as well. I could see this being really helpful for local broker associations also. So great way. And in the networks and the groups, you can also see the listings affiliated with the members of that group. Network news is going to be the latest things that have been changed in your network as well. One of the fun things about Quantum Listing is you can follow other people. So these are going to be the people who, and if you haven't gone the step of creating your own group, but that you always want to see what Sally and Jimmy are doing, you can follow them and you'll be able to very quickly see their listings here in the stream. And then the info section is a section that you're going to be very familiar with because it has a bunch of information, including the analytics. So this will show you how many listing views you've gotten over a week, a month, all time. If you're promoting listings on our site, it'll show you the number of views and clicks the listings have gotten. And promoted listings are listings that you're paying either $2.50 for a week or $7.50 for a month, and they show up at the top of searches in your market. So you'll be able to see the number of clicks and views that you've gotten from that. Promoted banners, this is something different. I'll show you an example of that. This way, a brand promotion banner will show up at the top of searches in the market you specify. And when somebody clicks on it, you'll go to that person or company's profile page. So in this case, Jonathan Zimmerman has his brand promotion, and it goes right to his profile page, and you can see his 121 listings. And Jonathan does something similar to what I was describing before, where each individual suite he has is a separate listing for each suite. I think I ought to give him credit. He was doing that before I was. All right, back to the info section. There's more analytics, which you can look at on that, and you can download some of that information if you have to report information to your principals. It's a great resource to help you with that. Notes are the private notes that you take on listings, and you can take private notes on other people's listings too, not just your own. Comparable data is not publicly available yet. Syndication channels, in addition to the incoming syndication that we have from Build Out, Sharp Launch, and RealNex, you can syndicate from our site to Levitt Digital, that has a chain of 500 or so local news sites, as well as CRE Collaborative, which is a newer site, and they have a great dashboard where you can see all your different technology, real estate technology in one place, and have all the data, have a single source of truth for that. Leads, everybody loves leads. This is where you will find leads. If your account is current, you're going to get an email in real time when you have a new lead, and you can find that information here. And and then if you can either delete it, you can keep it forever. If you want more information on what it is that the lead was for, you can click on that, and it'll take you to the listing. If you click on that, and that I think is going to, let me just point out a few other things. So our marketing center is where you're going to be able to get online advertising. That's the Google display ads, promote your listings to the top of searches. Email blasts are another feature. So when you join and subscribe to Quantum Listing, we'll give you a complimentary email blast, which we'll send out to your market, based on our list. You can also buy packages of additional email blasts and brand promotion we just talked about. And then the bundled marketing package is just sort of a simplified way to take advantage of some of our different features. The bundled marketing package will include listing promotion, a Google display ad, as well as a email blast. So, I hope you stuck with me, because we went through a lot in this hour. Up here is our pricing page, so you can see, we're very transparent about what Quantum Listing costs. Basic is free. Individual is $89.99 a year for unlimited listings. Enterprise, also $89.99 a year, but you can add multiple agents that way as well. I will pause, catch my breath, and let you ask some questions if you'd like. I think it's a shy bunch. Here's the sharing profile, icon to share your profile, and I hope you enjoyed today's webinar and were able to keep up. But if not, don't worry, because we'll be emailing the replay out. And in conclusion, here is our pricing. So have a good look at that, but you can find it at, on our website as well. If you need more information, there are lots of ways to get it. We have a very robust how it works section that has articles on all of our features. You can schedule a demo. You can contact us using the intercom button. You can email us at support@quantumlisting.com. You can call us on our nifty vanity phone number, or come back and participate in another webinar, and be sure to read one of our blog posts, or all of our blog posts, because we update our blog every week. So on that note, the only thing left to do is to thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about Quantum Listing, and especially for all your valuable time today. And I also want to thank Julia for all her help in preparing for today's webinar. And we look forward to seeing you real soon on the next one. Thanks.